Now I am going to discuss with one method, that is firstOrCreate. Also with that I will also discuss with another method, that is firstOrNew. But first I am going to show you the firstOrCreate method. This is a method that attempts to find a record that matches the given attributes. If a record is found, then it will be returned. Otherwise, a new record is created with the provided attributes and it will be saved to the database. I am going to show you so that you can understand. First, in order to show that, I am going to my web.php here. For example, I am going to create here the index and here index, and I am going to work here with the index. Okay, so public then function index. So here I am going to use that. My model name is student, and here I am going to write firstOrCreate. You already know what first does. First actually pull the first data. So this will do the same thing. Firstly, it will check if there is any data here. Otherwise, it will create the data and save that into the database. For example, in the student table, there was the name attribute I had. So here I am going to write the attributes. Total 4 attributes were there. So name, email, then age, and then country, right? So here I am going to change the name. Actually, I am going to search in my entire table by the name. For example, this one, john@gmail.com, 30 Italy. So here is 30, here is Italy, here is email john@gmail.com, John. So it will first search in my database if I run this, and if it gets, then nothing will be happen. So I am going here and I am going to run student index, enter. Now if I refresh, you will see that nothing is happening. But if you change something here, that means if this record does not match with the database. For example, for any reason I give the email address john100. Now if I run here this one, now if I go here, refresh, you see that the entry has been added as a new entry in the database, because it first searches if by these entries there is any data. If it does not get any data, then it will just insert this as a new data. You see that it matches with the John, age, and country, but the email address is different. For this reason, it was not able to find the data, so it just take it as a new data. It thinks that it is a new data because name match, age matches, country matches, that is good, but email does not match. So it thinks that this is a new data, and so it simply insert here. I hope you have understood the logic behind it. There is another method, that is firstOrNew. What is the difference of that method? The firstOrNew method is similar to this firstOrCreate method, but there is a difference. Instead of saving the new record to the database, it returns an unsaved instance of the model. If the record is found, it is returned. Otherwise, a new instance of the model is created with the provided attributes. I am going to show you so that you can understand. I am going to make it commented. Now I am going to show it like this. So here it will be firstOrNew. So how it will actually work, I am going to show you not this way. I am just going to give here only one attribute so that you can understand like this. For example, this is a single attribute, that is firstOrNew. Now I am going to get here std, for example this one equal to this one. Now I am going to use another 2 attribute. For example, std of name equal to, here I am going to give a name John100. I am going to give again John. Okay, so if I get the attribute here, the John, then the data will be updated by my new data. It can be John or any other. It can be John and here the age, you can give here what was the actually the age of John. The age of John was 30. So here I just give the data, and then there is Italy. Okay, for example like this. So here std country equal to Italy. Then I will have to save this. So save. Now it will first search in the database table by this email. If it gets the email, then it will update the data by this. So let's check it. You see that here I am going to refresh it. Now check it and see what is into the John. So refresh, you see that there is nothing changed. But if I get the email here, I want to change the name. For example, John Doe. Here is 31. Here is Ireland. Okay. Now as I will get this one, this data will be updated. So just refresh it, then go here. You see that as I get this email, this new data is updated here. So this is the function here, because if you just write it, nothing will happen. Here when I created this firstOrCreate, it already changed the data into the database or added the data. That means added the data into the database. But it is what it is doing, it is just going to update the data. And if it does not get the email, for example John 99 I give here. If the firstOrNew using this, when I will search the database table by the email this one, you see that there is no email by this name. If there is no email by this name, then it will create a new record by this. So here for example I give a new name, John 99, for example 39 Ireland. That is okay. Now I am going to refresh it. Then refresh it, you see that the data is inserted here. John 99 gmail.com 39 Ireland. So I hope you have understood what is happening here. I am again telling you, in the first case when you are going to use firstOrCreate, then it will just match with all the attributes you give here. If this exists in the database table, this row, then nothing will happen. But if it does not exist, any of the attributes that you give here does not exist in the database row, then the entire row will be added as a new entry. And in the case of firstOrNew, it first will search in the database by this name. If it is found in my database table row, then the data will be updated by this information. But if this email does not exist in the database table row, then this data with this email will be inserted as a new entry into the database table. I hope you have understood.